So, good morning, welcome. So, day 4 of our yoga challenge. So, this morning's practice is actually, we're following, as I've said the previous days, the Patanjali's niyamas. So, these kind of guidelines for living. And the one today that we're following, the 4th one, is something called, it's Svadhyaya. A little tricky to say, as you can see. So it basically means self-study. So, and self-study, so it's like self-inquiry, and obviously the purpose of getting on your mat on a daily basis, or as regular as you can, not always daily, but as regularly as you can, is so that you can start to find out, okay, what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what's actually intuitively going on in my body, and where do I need to pay a little bit more attention and maybe a little bit more love and kindness. And it's also about taking yoga off the mat. So we talk a lot about love and kindness and all these kind of things in yoga, but then if you go off the mat and then you're kind of like really short-tempered and not so nice to other people, then what's the point of the yoga? So I remember someone saying to me once, you know, there's many people that do yoga across the world, but it doesn't make them all nice people. So I guess this is kind of this the goal of this niyama, Svadhyaya, is that you find this offering and giving and being a service kind of mentality whenever you can. So and with that comes a kind of wisdom within the action. And so you can think about the selfless actions that you do, like karma yoga we call it. It's giving without expecting anything in return. So with that, that's something to ponder on and think about for the day. And today then we're going to be working a little bit with some, yesterday Louise, you said you had, you wake up and you feel like, oh, my back's a little bit stiff. So we're going to work with that today, like a little bit of awakening the spine and the back through repeating some of the things we've done through the days, but also adding some other postures that will particularly benefit awakening of the back. So I'm going to go to my mat. Just take a few centering breaths. Close the eyes. Just feel a natural rising of the breath and an exhale. I'm thinking about this idea of inquiry, self-inquiry. Where are your thoughts today, this morning? How can you maybe change a thought pattern that's often repetitive and maybe negative? And then bring it back, change it into something positive, and then maybe think about something that you can offer out as your gift service to the world. And then lightly placing, as we did yesterday, we're doing the same breath work. So working with the lower lungs, middle lungs, and upper lungs. So inhaling, we do it because we prepared yesterday. Now we just go straight into one breath, moving the hands through each area of the lungs as we rise up through the breath. And as we exhale today, we'll take the exhale into the lower belly, then the releasing from the middle lungs and releasing from the top lungs. So we're following the diaphragm with this breath. So now, soft inhale, lower lungs, 2, 3. Move the hands to the side of the ribcage. Continue the inhale, 2, 3. And upper lungs rise, 2, 3. Exhaling, lower lungs, 2, 3. Middle lungs contract, 2, 3. Upper lungs soften, 2, 3. Once again, lower lungs, inhale, inflate. Middle lungs expand. Upper lungs softly rise. Exhaling for the lower lungs. Middle lungs contract. Softening the upper lungs. 2 more rounds like this. Full inhale, lower lungs. Middle lungs expand. Upper lungs rise. Exhaling, lower lungs. Middle lungs. Upper lungs. And then gently release your hands to the knees. Take a moment just to gently open the eyes and begin to circle through your hips and your pelvis. So, working into the belly, into the spine, breathing as you circle and move. And maybe taking the waistline a little bit further forwards. And then reversing the circle. And then coming back to a small circle. Breathing slowly into the belly. And then reaching your arms out to the side, reach up, extend, lengthen, palms meet. As you exhale now, I'll mirror you, taking your left hand to the floor. Reach and lean over towards the left hand side. Opening up through the shoulder, top of the head, side body long. Then inhale, sweep the arms back up, touch the palms gently, and then release the right hand to the earth. Extend and lengthen. Reach the fingers up and over the top of the head. Inhale, bring the hands back to the sky. Touch. This time turn your waistline. Take your right hand across your left knee, left hand behind you. Tall spine, lift up and lengthen. And then slowly turning from the lower spine. Then the belly, the rib cage, and the chest turn. And the last thing to turn is your head and your neck. Inhale, turn back to the front, reach your arms back to the sky. Palms meet. Exhale, other side. So taking your left hand to your right knee, right hand behind you. Slowly turn, gently looking behind you. Inhale, gaze back to the front, sweep the arms back to the center. As you exhale, folding forwards, rolling over your shins, your knees, coming to an all fours position. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And as you inhale, cat-cow, open through the chest. As you exhale, really guiding your way from your tailbone. So from your belly begins to rise. Drop the head of the neck down, breathing into the back body. Inhaling, opening through the chest, looking forwards. And then exhale, begin to round, lifting up through the belly. Drop the head of the neck down. Inhaling, opening through chest, heart forwards. And this time, as you exhale, round, and then begin to feel into your spine, into your back. Moving. Sometimes I call this like a sexy cat-cow. So your spine is doing what it feels like it wants to do today. Opening through the chest, maybe moving the hips and the pelvis more. Maybe circling through the head of the neck. Finding the breath with the movement of the spine. And anytime you're feeling like, I'm feeling something happening, or more tension in a place in the spine, breathe a little more deeply. And then as you exhale, sit back on your heels. So you're coming into your child's pose. Reach the fingers forwards and then inhale round through the spine. As you exhale, concave the spine, open the chest. We've done this before. Tuck the toes under, lift up through the hips, coming to your downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your right leg to the sky, lift up and lengthen. And as you exhale, step your right foot between your hands. Release your back knee to the ground. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky, lift. Exhale, take the hands to the earth, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your left leg to the sky. Press into the hands, reach through the bones, get the tall legs. And then lift from the belly, stepping your left foot forwards. Reach your back knee to the floor, reach your arms to the sky. Lifting up and lengthen. As you exhale, take your hands to the earth. Now step your right foot forwards, feet hip distance apart. Inhale, gaze forwards, look forwards. And then exhaling and fold, releasing the head and the neck down. As you inhale now, bend through your knees. Just come to your sitting, balancing on the balls of your feet, and place your hands into prayer. Take a moment here, finding your steadiness. Now from here, press into the balls of the feet and slowly rise up. Keep the heels off the ground. Inhale, reach up to the sky with the hands. And then as you exhale, slowly release the heels down and the arms to the sides. One round of the simple first variation of the sun salutation we did yesterday. So take the hands to the sides. Inhale, then as you exhale, palms meet in front of the heart. Exhale, reach your arms to the sky, little lean back if you wish, and then slowly releasing the head and the neck back down. Inhale, gaze forwards, look forwards. And exhale, step your right foot back behind you, release the knee to the floor. Reach your arms up high, lift and lengthen, low lunge. Then exhale, circle the hands down, stepping back, downward facing dog. Inhale, rock forwards to a plank. Exhale, drop your knees. Bend your elbows, chest and chin. Then sliding the heart through, mini cobra. Bending the elbows, shoulders draw back. Exhale, seat to heels and downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward, step your right foot forwards. Release your back knee to the floor, raise your arms up high, lift. Exhale, take your hands to the earth, step your left foot forwards. Inhale, reach your heart forwards, your gaze forwards, and then exhale and fold. Press into your feet now, reach your arms out to the side, slowly rising up. Reach the palms, touch above your head, then exhale, bring them through the heart center, slowly folding all the way back down. Release the head and the neck down. Soft gaze forward, step your left foot back, release your knee to the floor. Reach your arms up high, lift and lengthen. Exhale, take your hands to the earth, stepping back, downward dog. Inhale, rock forwards to the plank. Then exhale, drop your knees, bend your elbows, chest and chin, sliding the heart forwards and through mini cobra. Exhale, back seat to heels, child's pose, and then downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot forwards between the hands, release your back knee down. Raise your arms up high, lift and lengthen. Take your hands to the earth, step your right foot forwards. Inhale, hands to the shins, and exhale and fold. Press through your feet, raise your arms out to the sides and slowly rise up. Reaching the arms to the sky and then exhale, bring the palms into the heart center. Widen your feet a little bit apart now, big toes out to the sides as much as you need, because you're slowly going to come down into your malasana or your squatting position. So from here, you may be on the balls of the feet. Very nice, Louisa. So now breathe into the back body, allowing the tailbone to drop down to the earth, pressing the hands in to one another, and the knees are hugging the elbows. Finding the breath here. And then gently, gracefully releasing your butt to the floor. And taking your toes out in front of you, drawing your toes in towards your butt, hugging yourself, giving yourself a little hug and lengthening up through the spine. Now from here, reaching up through your right leg, reach your arms forwards, and then lift your left leg. Draw your knees in towards your belly. Cool. So draw your knees in towards your belly, spread your toes, and then extending your right leg towards the floor. Keep it off the floor, inhale, reach up, and extend the left leg to the floor, but not touching. Yeah. Inhale, stabilizing through the core. Bring the shins back together, and now reach your right leg up higher, pointing the toes. Bring it back to the center point position, engaging your core. Reach up through the left leg. Very nice. Bring it back to the center. Squeeze the knees. Lift the belly a little bit closer towards you. Wonderful. And then as you exhale, bring the toes to the floor. Bring the heels back in. Hug yourself and then drop your head and your neck down towards your knees. Finding the breath here. And then exhaling, slowly unraveling your spine all the way back down to the floor. Feeling into the bottom of the spine where the tailbone is, and you tilt it up and then release. Creating, when you release, you're pressing the tailbone into the floor and you create more of a gap at the lumbar spine. So just doing this 2 more times, tilt and release. Closing the gap at the lumbar spine and then opening again. And then from here, as you inhale, press your feet into the floor. Curl the tailbone up, lift through the hips and the pelvis, and reach your arms above your head. Extend and lengthen through the fingers. As you exhale, releasing the pelvis, the hips down, release the arms down to the floor. Inhale, 2 more times like this, lifting up through the hips and the pelvis. Reaching up and over with the arms. As you exhale, your arms releasing down at the same time as your hips and your pelvis. Last round. Inhale, opening, lifting up, reaching the arms above you. And then as you exhaling, slowly releasing the arms back down. Wonderful. Now from here, drawing your right knee in towards your chest. Taking your right arm on the inside of the knee to the outside of the foot and coming into your half happy baby. So now place your left hand on the top of the left thigh and then extend your left leg long away from you, reaching through the bones. So you're breathing as you press your hand into your foot. Wonderful. And then from here, sliding the foot down, place your hand on your top of your right knee and just circle. So you feel the sacroiliac joint, the joint at the bottom, the side of the flat bone at the bottom of the spine, the sacrum. So the SI joint is at the side of that. And as you're circling through your knee and your hips, feel kind of like a release or a pressure as you're circling in that side of the sacrum. And now bring the right knee over towards your left hand side, so in line with the right hip, knee in line with the hip. Take it over. Maybe it's not going to ground all the way because we haven't lifted the pelvis so much, but just gently looking towards your right elbow. And then inhaling, coming back to the center. If you happen to have a belt, grab your belt and place it around your ball of the right foot and extend the leg long to the sky. If you haven't got a belt, you can always place your hands around the back of the hamstring and next time use a belt. So if you have a belt, press the ball of the foot away, or you're pressing at the same time the quadricep away And feeling the belt just helps you to root down through the top of the foot, grounding again the femur bone into the hip joint, which often relieves, if you have back pain, this one position is great with a belt. It can really relieve back pain, as can strengthening your core, your center. And then as you exhale, gently release the belt and slowly release the leg long away from you. Slide both feet back up so your knees are bent, and then bend your left knee, take your arm on the inside of the knee and hold the outer edge of the foot, bringing it into half happy baby, and then extend your right leg long. So reaching through the bones of the right leg, pressing into the side of the foot with the left hand, and breathe. And now gently releasing the hold of the foot and begin to circle through your knee. So left hand on top of the knee, circling and seeing if you can feel at the back of your butt with the pressure of the femur bone, the joints around the sacrum. And then reverse the circle. And now gently taking your knee over to the right side. So because we didn't shift the hips across, you might find that your knee doesn't go as far to the ground. So now taking your left arm out to the side, look towards the left, and maybe use your right hand on your right thigh to draw the knee a little lower, or mine stays raised, so maybe yours is just a little raised so the knee's in line with the hip. And breathe. And then inhaling, coming back to the center. If you have your belt, wrap your belt around the ball of the foot. Extend the leg long or hold behind the back of the hamstring. And now really dropping into the femur bone into the ground. So if you have your belt, let the elbows drop out to the sides and really root into the earth, into the side of the sacrum. And be active in your right leg as well. So reaching through the bones of both legs. Wonderful. And then exhaling, gently releasing the leg long away from you. Slide the feet back up. Take the hands on the insides of the feet. Take the hold of the outer edges of the feet. And you're coming to a full happy baby now. So in happy baby, you draw your knees towards your armpits or your outer shoulders. And if your butt is really high, try and draw the sitting bones down to the earth. Pressing the feet into the hands as you press your hands into your feet. So you are still engaging and working here. And deepen in the breath. And as you exhale, just releasing the feet, take the hold of the hands around the backs of the knees and begin to just roll forwards and backwards on your spine. So for some people, maybe this doesn't work at all, in which case just rock side to side, and then you'll slowly find your way to the side so that you can come gradually up into a cross-leg position, rolling over the shins and coming back into a downward facing dog. Sign out the day. Inhale, rock forwards to a plank. Exhale, drop your knees. Bend your elbows, release your heart, chest, chin to the floor, then slide in the heart through mini cobra. As you exhale, now releasing down, take the hands to the sides of your body. Just look down to begin with. Now inhale, raise up through your right leg, then your left leg. Now take your arms off the floor, the chest off the floor, the head and the neck off the floor. Shalabhasana. Looking slightly forwards, breathing into your lumbar spine. Wonderful. Lift up a little higher, open through the chest. Then exhale, release the head down on top of the hands and rock out the spine. So we're going to do that one more time. Same thing. Extending through your legs, lifting them, raising them off the floor. Then lift up through the chest, opening the chest. Shalabhasana. Engaging your glutes, but not clenching your butt. Lift up a little higher, find your breath, and breathe. And then exhale, releasing all the way down. Drop the head and the neck down, rocking out the spine. Now place the hands back in line with the chest, pressing all the way back to a child's pose. And one last downward dog for the morning. So time flies. So maybe if you want to stay for longer on your mat and you have time, you can do so after this. Otherwise, you inhale, take your left leg to the sky, lifting up and lengthen. Reaching through the bones. Exhaling, releasing the leg down, reaching through your right leg, extend up, lengthen. And then exhaling, gently releasing the leg down. Releasing the knees down to the floor, coming back into your child's pose. Release the head and the neck down. Relaxing the whole body now. So we're not going to lie down this morning because often you may not have time to have a full Shavasana, but this is the kind of a Shavasana pose. So you're full resting in child's pose. So staying here for a few more breaths. And obviously if you're at home and you want to do Shavasana, you want to lie down on your back, you also have that option. And then inhaling, walking the hands back up. Finding a comfortable seat. So you may, if you have a block nearby, you may want to sit on a block. So instead of lying down today, often it's really important, if you don't lie down, then you can do child's pose or you sit quietly for a few moments. So one thing that can get missed also on a daily basis is to just gather your center, your thoughts. And just the more you can call it meditation, you can call it sitting quietly, just allowing yourself the space to kind of create space between the mental whirlings of the mind, this chitta vritti. So soft eyes, drop the chin down slightly, and bring your attention to your third eye, or the place between the eyebrows. Coming to focus on the breath now. And every time your mind is drifting, bring your attention back to the inhale and the exhale. And then maybe noticing the space between the inhale and the exhale. And then slowly becoming the watcher of the breath, of the thoughts. Knowing you're not your thoughts. So Svadhyaya, self-study. Every time the mind is wandering into a story, see if you can distance yourself once again. Let it come and let it go. And if it's easier for you, focus on the breath. It's your anchor to the present moment. It'll keep bringing you back. And now bringing yourself back to this moment, being in your room, in your body, in your heart. And knowing that yoga, this element of Svadhyaya, is about walking the talk, bringing your more awareness, more conscious behavior into your life, being aware of how you tread on this earth. As Louisa nicely put it yesterday, being thoughtful, not fearful. And finding a smile as you draw your hands together in front of your heart space. And gently exhaling, bowing to yourself, showing up once again, the fourth day, continual practice on your mat. Release your hands down. As you inhale, gently raise your head and open your eyes. Namaste. So thank you for joining day 4, and day 5 is the final day. So with the goal that you can take your mat away if you're going somewhere, or if it will just encourage you next week or whenever you feel like, just drawing yourself to your mat to move for 5 minutes, to be with the breath is yoga, to be there for 10 minutes, maybe you start getting into it, and just doing what you feel is right intuitively for your body. So I will see you again tomorrow.